I'm gonna be honest. I don't care about Taylor Swift. Not in a way that like is dismissive of who and what she is, how phenomenal of an artist she is. But when it's time for football, it's time for football. I'm not paying attention to nobody's girlfriend. Okay, like I'm locked in on the fact that we are finally in the grace of football, and that's all I care about. Disrespectfully, all respect. Samaria Terry in the building. What's up, sister? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. All right, I gotta ask you, who you got this weekend? Giants, Vikings?
Yo, don't torture me. Listen, it's the first week of the NFL season. By the time this comes out, the Ravens and Chiefs would have already played. So tell me, because you're the NFL guru around these parts, who do you have winning Chiefs, Ravens? Keeping in mind, this is going to be post-dated.
I'm going to go Baltimore because for some reason Kansas City just they don't ever have it figured out early in the season and they just go on to win the Super Bowl. So I think Baltimore is going to get the week 1 win. Okay.
All right, you heard it right here. Samaria Terry telling you to take Baltimore on the over, under. Put your bets.
I'm not a big betting person. What is the over under?
I don't know, but I bet we about to have a good show. It's time for the Fumble.
All right, week 1 of the NFL is this weekend, and the league celebrated the start of the new season with a little promo on social media. And Taylor Swift was featured in this promo in the 28-second clip, not once, but 5 times. Was this overkill, Rodney, or was this genius marketing?
I'm going to be honest. I don't care about Taylor Swift. Not in a way that like is dismissive of who and what she is, how phenomenal of an artist she is. But when it's time for football, it's time for football. I'm not paying attention to nobody's girlfriend, okay? Like I'm locked in on the fact that we are finally in the grace of football. And that's all I care about, disrespectfully. All respect. All due respect to Taylor Swift. Every Swiftie on earth, don't kill me. I'm just saying I separate my Taylor from my football. It feels like you might have some strong feelings about this, Samaria. Do you feel like it's a little overkill?
I did at first. When I saw it trending, I'm like, there's no way she's in here 5 times in a 28-second clip. And she was. The MVP was only featured once in that 28-second clip. So, but I like I said, it's genius marketing because you either like Taylor Swift or you don't. I'm probably in the in between, maybe leaning more towards.
No.
Really care.
Okay.
But I think that it got people talking because the Taylor Swift fans were all aboard, and then the people who cannot stand her were like, "What are you doing, NFL?" So everybody is talking about this little 28-second clip. I just feel like the NFL doesn't really need a lot of, what is it called, clickbait or rage baiting. I don't feel like the NFL needs any of that. So I thought it was very interesting that they decided to. If they threw her in there like once, maybe at the beginning, at the end, okay.
Yeah.
But 5 times in 28 seconds, that was a lot for me.
Well, I think the NFL lags behind the NBA in terms of like media presence. The NBA generally just has better engagement on social media, and Taylor Swift obviously is a lightning rod for people to want to interact and engage with any kind of content. So I understand formulaically why the NFL is taking this approach. Also, we know that in the past, there's been a lot of, what's the best way to say this delicately? Maybe not as much of an investment into the female audience. That could have been made by the NFL. You also pair with that some of the DV cases that we've had in the NFL, right? Even from star players. And you want to figure out a way to pull women into your business because women are the driving force for, consumer marketing, right? Women they buy everything. If they're invested in what you are presenting, women will spend money on it. Way more so than men. So it's a great business strategy, but just as a fan, I personally don't care. But it ain't for me.
Just talking about over under. What's the over under that we gonna see Taylor Swift 20 times tonight?
You gonna see Taylor Swift non-stop at that Chiefs Ravens game. No, seriously. And you know what? There's a different level of business that is taking place in this relationship. This isn't just commercial ads and spots. Taylor Swift will become an NFL owner one day. We are aware of this, right? We are. Okay. And go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do you feel like she's gonna be a part of an expansion team?
She might just straight up cash money buy somebody's team up off their hands when it's all said and done. Seriously, like I can see a scenario in which, let me not even put that into the atmosphere, but she'll probably get a team maybe even before Jay-Z. Now, I know Jay has been angling for a team for a long time. We all, as the community, would like to see Hov with a team. But I feel like the way the NFL is hitching their wagon to Taylor, she might leap him in line.
Maybe it'll be after Kelsey retires.
No, you gotta own the team that your man played for. Ooh,
no,
can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine?
No. It's conflict
Why?
of interest if she was just the owner, period. It's conflict of interest.
I would love for my boo to be the owner of the Fumble. My contract gonna be crazy. I'm getting paid, yay.
And every decision that is made, people are like,
that's right. My boo got my back. And support your king. That would be fire. I think that would be incredible. That's hate, yo. That's hate. And then you have, Taylor Swift is tall. Travis Kelce is obviously a gargantuan human being. Then you draft your team. Then you do the LeBron thing. Oh my God. The pathway is set.
Then they have kids and
yeah. And then yes, for sure, nepotism on full display. I'm not mad at it, man. Like, again, this marketing is not for me. Taylor Swift is not my necessarily favorite artist in the world. Again, I respect and revere her craftsmanship. She actually does have some bars. When you take away some of the production and listen to what she actually says, she be going kind of crazy. But
I just had a thought about the relationship stuff. That Taylor is not. She doesn't allow a man a very long time to take up her space, right? And then once they are gone, I'm trying to say that really nice. And then once they are gone, she's gonna make sure she throws a song. She gets real petty. She gets real petty once they break up. If she's the owner of the team, you're out of here.
Yeah, then you got to go play for the Panthers. That's tough.
Or the Giants.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts on Taylor Swift's inclusion into the NFL marketing, and also how you feel about Samaria Terry always taking shots at my beloved Giants. It's gone too far, Samaria. You gotta let it go. Gots to let it go. Pivoting to our favorite topic on the Fumble, Caitlin Clark took home both Rookie of the Month and Eastern Conference Player of the Month for August. She has averaged 24 points, 8.5 assists, and 5 boards, and her team is on a 5-game winning streak. They have locked in the playoff spot, but there are still people who refuse to honor her greatness, like Sheryl Swooped, who somehow talked about the Fever and their recent success without once mentioning Caitlin. Now, Samaria, is there any excuse possible for a journalist not to recognize how good Caitlin has been?
No, there is no excuse. And I'm really disappointed in Sheryl because obviously she's the greatest. She has accomplished everything that the women in this league are trying to accomplish. She's done this. You had air swoops. You up here with Michael Jordan. Like, if you wasn't a hooper, he wouldn't be standing up here with you. So it's like... It's very strange, but I was trying to dissect it and figure out what could be the reason. And I remember she interviewed Caitlin back in May, and a lot of people in the comments were like, she doesn't like Caitlin. And we know how Caitlin fans are, right? I'm sure they probably eaten her up in her comments, on her social media pages. And unfortunately, I feel like she's taking that out now on Caitlin. And she's not telling the truth, unfortunately. Like, even Nancy Lieberman said that she reached out to Sheryl and was like, look, you can have your opinion, but you have to state facts. And now they're not even friends no more. So I'm like, I just feel like once your feelings become that strong against a player and you're biased in this way, you just have to step away, because the greatness that we viewed you as before, it's dimming that because of your apparent bias for one of the greatest that's on the floor right now. It's very unfortunate. I hate this for Swoops.
Yeah, she's taking hating to a new level. Barkley and Shaq, they make jokes about people, but I ain't never seen them straight up just not mention somebody who has been so phenomenal, right? Like, even to be critical is one thing. To be indifferent to the point of not wanting to discuss and not being able to be an objective journalist or media member is insane to me. This is some of the challenges that athletes, as they transition from being on the court, on the field, to the media space, are gonna be challenged with, right? Like letting go of that raw emotion, that competitive fire and fervor that fuels you on the court, and then your media job, you have to be objective. You have to be able to just talk about what you're seeing without your implicit bias. And Sheryl is clearly struggling with that. They took her off of a broadcast. She was supposed to announce a game for the Fever, and she was removed and replaced subsequently with Nancy Lieberman. And so do you really want to get to a point where your career, this second part of your career, is at jeopardy because you don't want to play nice? You don't want to just acknowledge how good, even if you don't like her still, you can't, you grown as hell. You can't tuck that away for the purpose of doing your job. To me, that's spooky, that's scary, and I don't care about an interview in which maybe Caitlin's fans have said some things in the comment section that you don't like. Everybody who has a rabid fan base has people who will go at the earth's end to disparage other people. But that's not a reflection of Caitlin. If Caitlin hasn't said or done anything, then you can't hold her accountable for the thoughts and opinions of others.
Exactly. And she was definitely on a Twitter space or something like that, and she was talking about Stephen A. Smith. She was going in on him, saying that he didn't give them the recognition or give our earlier teams, he didn't give the WNBA the recognition in the past.
The coverage, right.
Caitlin. Yeah, the coverage, the recognition, all that stuff that he's giving Caitlin Clark in the WNBA now. And I feel like that's another reason why maybe she's salty. But I feel like the women's basketball players that we've talked to, even on this platform, they're excited about what's to come for the WNBA. Mm-hmm. They're embracing that. They're saying, okay, it's been a long time coming, but we're here now. So I was hoping that Sheryl Swooped would kind of share that same sentiment, but she's obviously not. And I just hate it for her, to be honest with you.
Yeah, she crashing out. She is crashing out in a major way. That's the word for her.
The season happened.
She, for real. Caitlin just had another triple-double, right?
Yeah.
Like, she just had another triple-double. She is 7th, peep this, Maria. She is 7th all-time in 20 and 10 games in the history of the WNBA games, in the history of the WNBA. And she has done it in only 34 games of a career, right? By comparison, Diana Taurasi is 9th on that list, and she had to play 559 games to achieve her amount of 20 and 10 games. We're watching something incredible take place here. So if Stephen A wasn't covering the WNBA prior, it's because his audience wasn't invested. Now people have a vested interest in the league, in the WNBA. So yeah, I'm going to talk about the things that people are tweeting about because that's what the business has become, right? If there's no conversation happening online, there's no need for us to talk about it on our show. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's what media is. Media no longer dictates the conversation dictates media.
And she's giving crazy people like Jason Whitlock ammo to say all type of stuff. And that's what I really hate.
We don't need to mention no fat back neck, pork sausage head, toupee ass Negroes on this show. We not his fat, sweaty ass. At some point, Jason is going to get swept up in like a rub and tug sweep. It's going to be like a big bust because I know ain't no woman on earth touching him. I know he's at one of them nasty backroom rub and tug spots, and I can't wait for him to get caught out there. I can't stand that dude, man. He is just an abomination. He is disgusting. He stink. I don't like Jason. Jason Whitlock is the only person I will talk about at this length and worse than I do Rudy Gobert. He the only one.
I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have brought him up, but that was really upsetting to me.
Fat pork neck son of a I can't stand him, man. Anyway, moving on. Y'all let us know your thoughts on Caitlin Clark and Sheryl Swoopes' lack of coverage or desire to have conversations about her on live broadcasts. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below.
So we had a few upsets in week 1 of college football. 14th ranked Clemson taking down number 1 Georgia wasn't one of them. And according to Roddy White, it was because there wasn't enough black players on the field. So in a tweet, White said, quote, "Clemson got way too many white dudes on the field on offense. This ain't them. You mean to tell me you only got one black dude out there making plays? That's a recruiting problem." End quote. Rodney, what do you make of this?
He's not wrong. It does look crazy. It's like, you ever watch, so there's like the Utah Jazz, right? The Utah Jazz, there was a period in time where their whole team was like white. And it was just like, yo, this is the NBA. Like, how is everybody out here white? It does look weird when you have skilled position players who are Caucasian, and not because they're not deserving, but it's just because black athletes are just so much more predominant in any and every sport outside of course, baseball, hockey, and so on. So it optically it does look weird, and if you losing, we definitely gonna have an opportunity to criticize because you gotta. If you gotta be, it's like the old adage for black people, you gotta be twice as nice to be white. It's just like you gotta be twice as nice if you're gonna be a white wide receiver or a white running back. You gotta be Christian McCaffrey. You can't be an average white receiver, because now I'm wondering what's happening here. What are we doing? So Roddy White is not wrong. I'm gonna stop here because I don't want to go too left.
Yes.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about this?
It was one of those things. It's like, Roddy, you can't say that. Like, you may think it, but you can't say it. You definitely can't tweet it, sir. But kind of like dissecting what he said, a recruiting problem. Like, it is a recruiting problem when you think about it, because Dabo, if you think back when Dabo was hired as the head coach back in 2009, think about the guys that he had. Like, he had black people on the team out of South Carolina, and they were winning. They were doing great. He doesn't want to embrace NIL, right? So he says it's not the traditional NIL that they're doing. It's in God's name, image, and likeness. And they're not paying to play or paying for play. They're rewarding guys that are on the team with those NIL opportunities. These dudes ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah.
They not trying to hear that. They want their money before they sign that letter of intent to come play at your institution.
Talk about it. Dabo signed a 10-year, $115 million contract, and he has a problem with his players being paid. That in and of itself is crazy. Not to mention just some of the.
He doesn't have a problem with it, but he's not going to pay them to come.
If you don't want to acquiesce, this happened to Bobby Bowden too at Florida State. If you don't want to acquiesce to the new culture of college football, then you are going to lose recruits, because it is the first opportunities for these players to be adequately compensated, and you don't want to talk about money. Well, then you missing the point of the game, right? Like, these players are putting their bodies on the line, so you damn right I want to be compensated. Literally, we have seen players get paralyzed on the football field. So if I'm gonna risk my body, I want to know that I have something in the bank account to show for it. Dabo has had this holier than thou approach to the game as of late, right? Like, he doesn't really want to participate in NIL. He refuses to take part in the transfer portal. In the history of his time at Clemson, he has had 3 transfers. He has 0 transfers on this roster this year. 2024. You have no transfers? That doesn't even make any sense. You're a prominent program. You're in a hot football bed, right? In the middle of the ACC. Every year you have a chance to win, and you refuse to acquiesce to the state of college football. And he's shooting himself in the foot. We've heard in the past him defending a coach who used the N-word, right? So now black players are also going to have their eye open, like, oh, is this dude really for me? He don't really seem to want us to get paid, and he's not really like giving this guy enough, in my opinion, for using the N-word. Even if he wasn't saying it to somebody, he was saying it kind of like a parrot. He was just repeating it back. Like, maybe this isn't the kind of man who knows how to lead black men. And that is why he has white skilled players at this point.
He's probably just going to have to pull a Nick Saban and just retire, because where are you going to go at this point if you're not willing to embrace NIL and paying to play? Like, it's just, you're not going to get the top players if you're not writing a check.
I got an idea. How about Dabo Swinney go coach at BYU? If you want to be a God-based football program, you go get you a team of virgins, okay, where NIL is not the most important thing. It's about purity, okay? You can have an all-white uniform, BYU, and you can go be in the middle of Utah and chill out, okay? But in South Carolina, brothers need compensation. That's a former slave state. Pay the people, pay them players, okay? Especially if you.
I think he should do that.
That would be, listen, that's a great cultural fit.
He doesn't have high expectations of winning. If you get 6-7 wins, you good over there. It's not, what are they, independent?
No, I think they actually are now. I think they're in a conference.
They're in a conference now?
Yeah, I think so. They're not like Notre Dame anymore. But yeah, go ahead and do that. I think that'd be a great fit for both. So, but in the interim, somebody else is going to get a hold of that Clemson job, and they're going to do a great job because the campus is beautiful, the facilities are phenomenal, the fans are rabid. It's in South Carolina, so you're right next to Georgia. You know, you got North Carolina right there. You got the whole South, Tennessee, and it's just like, somebody else is going to do something great with that program because Dabo, he had his time and it's over now. Unfortunately, though, if he were to get fired this year, they would still owe him $60 million. That's crazy.
Yeah, you all let us know down in the comments. Do you agree with what Roddy White had to say, or do you feel like Dabo's doing a great job at recruiting?
Ooh, Samaria, I got a good one for Fumble of the Week this week. Okay. The greatest coach of all time, to many, is former Patriots frontman Bill Belichick. He is an 8-time Super Bowl champion who ruled with an iron fist, and Belichick was perpetually frumpy, cold, and standoffish, even to Tom Brady, the most fun-loving goat of a goofball at the end of his career. And Tom was like, you know what, I've had enough, and he dipped and won a Super Bowl with the Bucs. But as of late, we're getting to see another side of Bill. One whose spirit feels lighter. He is smiling. And now, folks, he is even on Instagram. It has always been said that a man's joy is a direct reflection of how he feels about his work. But at the pinnacle of the Patriots' success, with 8 rings, Bill was never quite this joyful. He most definitely was not trying to be on InstaFace, which is what he calls Instagram. So what changed? The biggest shift in the dynamics of Bill's life is the fact that he, at age 72, has drafted a 23-year-old rookie girlfriend named Jordan Hudson. Clap it up for Bill one time. Amen. Hey, listen, I for one am shocked that a free agency signing of a partner 49 years younger could have this effect on a man. I mean, never would I have imagined that such a smile could be spearheaded by the simple placement of youthful energy in a man's life. And youthful she is, Samaria, so much so that she still has high school cheerleading highlights up on her Instagram page. Factual. This young lady was not even alive when Tom Brady was a rookie. She was 2 years old when 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying album dropped. And Bill was previously married for 29 years. Let me correct that. That is longer than his girlfriend has been alive. So my fumble of the week this week goes out to him for not sooner recognizing that to find true happiness, he had to seek out love from a woman who still can't rent a car for a decent price. Samaria, how do you feel about Bill needing the love of a woman half a century younger than him to finally start smiling? This was great. That was great. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Answer the question.
I just don't even want to.
Yo, your throat chakra be closing up on you.
Because I'm sick to my stomach. Ew. Girl, you cannot be this down and out. And you're a cute girl.
She ain't down and out. She up and in. What you mean?
Laying next to your granddad every day? Okay, let's go back. I don't even want to talk about this relationship because it's very strange. The Instagram stuff, though, I do feel like is a marketing. We've been talking about marketing a lot today, but I do feel like it's like a marketing thing. Like they want to make him more likable because obviously he's sitting down. He ain't got no job. And it's probably because you're not nice. You're not friendly. And so I think that maybe they're trying to, lighten his personality a little bit more. And maybe they can show some fun stuff, the fun side of Bill.
Yeah, he has a public image problem for sure. His smile was never really a smile. It was like a wince kind of. It was like a. But I like seeing this side of Bill Belichick. Ironically, when Tom Brady left the Patriots, he also had a similar change in disposition. We got to see more of the fun-loving, crazy side, psycho T of Tom Brady, and it feels like since divorcing the Patriots, Bill Belichick his spirit has lightened as well. I never saw Bill Belichick's wife prior to looking up who Jordan Hudson was, and there was a reference. Like now he's out in public. He's in the mix. He's at petting zoos. He is really like in this thing. He looks so cute. He looks so cute. He's like old and he's rubbing on the babies. I love it, man. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of her. Because you really got to look in the mirror and take a long look at yourself to figure out, are you the kind of woman who can rub old? And I feel like she signed up for the Lord's work, and she's gonna help Bill reignite his passion and flame for coaching, and players will like him more because he's just gonna be a lighter spirit. And so shout out to her for taking on.
Don't put the Lord in this. Don't put the Lord in this. Don't put the Lord in this. The Lord did not ask for this.
I love this, man. This makes me smile. Look at that. It makes me smile.
Does it?
It does. Yes, bro. Yes. At 79 years old, I could only hope and pray that a 23-year-old looks my way, much less touches my skin, my wrinkled, flaky, psoriasis skin. You know Bill got psoriasis. He was in New England too long. You know his skin was red and tore up from them cold winters. Oh man, you know he got them dark, big bruises on his leg from hitting the coffee table. You know he had that chapter of life. Man. I'm loving this. I'm loving this for Bill. Seriously, I think it's fire. 49 years, you can keep up with a 23-year-old? Let me know, Bill. What's the recipe? What's the formula, my brother? I want to know who shot their shot first. Like, I want to know the origin. That's what I want to know. That he like, yo, what's up, man? Like, you know, I see you out here, you know, at summer school. I feel like, you know, in a couple years, like, what was the approach? I want to know.
I feel like Bill could have found him a cute 55-year-old.
This girl don't got no expectations, no pressure. She like energy. She like energy. She ain't got a life's worth of jadedness living in her spirit. She ain't got to deal with. He ain't got to deal with all that. This girl is light, bright, and full of energy. I'm sure.
The question is, what did your mama think? Like, what your daddy think? I could only imagine being 23 years old and telling my dad, like, because at 23 my dad was 53. Like, hey, Dad, I'm dating someone who could be your dad.
Yeah, but he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT coach, though. He's the greatest coach of all time. Her dad is probably a fan. Her dad probably wants an autograph. This is fire. It's a win. It's a win-win. Now, she only has 17,000 followers on Instagram, right?
Okay, let's flip it. What if it was your daughter?
What do you mean? I ain't got no daughter.
But what if it was?
I ain't got one.
You could still have one.
No.
What if it was, hypothetically speaking, you had a daughter? What if it was her?
I can't envision it because my life is my life. I don't like to create fantasy.
Oh, please. Okay. Okay.
If it's the GOAT, go ahead, girl. Get you some. Take care of the family. Long as I'm straight. Whatever, man. Whatever makes you happy. Do your thing. Do your thing. Hey, man. Y'all let us know your thoughts about Bill Belichick's newfound joy in Jordan Hudson. Is the age gap a little bit too wide, or is Bill doing it the way real players do?
All right, that's all for this week. Thank you so much for joining us for yet another great episode of The Fumble. Make sure to subscribe to The Fumble and at The Fumble Sports on all of our social media platforms. Of course, we deliver the latest in sports every day on our YouTube page with our girl Jackie Ray, and then every Friday right here at The Fumble with myself, Samaria Terry, and my crazy co-host, Rodney White.
So I was thinking, Jerry Buss's daughter, right? I think her and I might have the same age gap as Bill and Jordan. Jeannie.
I like Jeannie, though.
I got the Lake of Yellow on me. Let me know.